another highlight stream of Fresh Sim Racing's Club Sprint Race Championship Series. This is race 2 of round 3 here at Sakuto Sprint Circuit. This is the race of our Formula Rookies. As you can see, it's if you missed out on the first race with the GT5s, it was very wet in that series. It has dried up considerably. We've got medium cloud overhead now, which is going to suit these Formula Rookies very nicely. As for how everything stands so far after 2 rounds, it is Inter All Sorts in this championship who leads his teammate by 2 points. Inter All Sorts has 30 points. Sam Thumbfinger in second on 28. Ambient Stub, who leads the GT5 Cup, he sits in third overall, and his teammate Lord of Lincoln sits in fourth. Ninth Bit is in fifth, 8 Ball in sixth, Jeff Spencer seventh, and then you have Wayne, Ice Dude, and Kingy to round up the current standings. Let's have a look at how the grid lines up then for race 2 of round 3. Carol Baskin, he gets his second random grid pole of the championship. It's been very lucky to him so far. He's had 2 races with us and 2 poles, so let's see what he can do from out in front of the grid. 8 Ball, he's there in second. He's got his teammate directly behind him in P4, so he will want to get away so the 2 teammates can go through nicely. Kingy, he was very fortunate last week, in his own words, but we actually believe he was a great racecraft, and he finds himself in third. Sam Thumbfinger, he's in sixth. He's the highest placed championship contender there, and he'll need to keep his nose out of trouble. But after a few technical difficulties, Sam will be using a controller after his pedals have given out. So a little bit of love for Sam in the chat if you're there. Follow Sam Thumbfinger. Bullen finds himself in sixth. This will be the first time out in these Formula Rookies, so let's see how we can contend there. Wayne finds himself in seventh with Rnd.3 in eighth. Jeff Spencer lines up the grid in ninth. Ambient Stub in 10th, Inter All Sorts in 11th, a Nathbit down in 12th. This grid does have some of the fastest drivers in practice at the back of the grid, with the exception of Kingy and 8 Ball, so we'll see how this all fares out. So without further ado, let's go to the grid and watch these cars get off the line. Fantastic start there in P4 for Kingy. He's got a massive jump on his person lined up beside him, Ice Dude. In fact, he's looking to have a look on the outside here. As we see the blue car of Rnd.3 goes completely sideways and takes Wayne out in the background. That's an absolute shame for Wayne further back down the grid. He's going to be taking up some serious damage. Carol Baskin, in the meantime, same as we saw in the previous race, the GT5s, he's out front. 8 Ball second. We see a couple of cars running a little bit wide there. That was Nathbit in the background. He managed to jump up, and himself and Inter are way down the grid. Meanwhile, 8 Ball is defending from Kingy, who gets a little bit sideways there, and that's allowing Ambient Stub to have a look. As we're coming into the tight right-hander here, 4 cars go sideways. In fact, Mikey's going a little bit sideways there. That's going to give Kingy the opportunity to come on the exit the corner. 5 drivers. Look, Kingy's run wide. He's into the wall there. A little bit of contact. Let's hope he's not made too much damage there, as Mikey has a look around the outside of Carol Baskin, but Carol Baskin is defending very well. Very good defending there by Carol Baskin. Let's see how his race fares so far. In fact, he's getting a little bit sideways, comes to the final corner, picks up some gravel, and a contact there, and that's Ambient Stub is caught up on that, and again, for good measure, the 3 drivers at the front, absolute chaos there as Carol Baskin touched a moment on the gravel and went around. That's allowed Jeff Spencer and Kinky a run on Ice Dude, and Jeff Spencer led that lap there for a second, at least led the race across the line. Kingy now leads this race with Jeff Spencer in second and Ice Dude in third. Bullen finds himself in fourth. Mikey trying to recover after that massive crash with Carol Baskin, but he's going to have a serious amount of damage for sure. Looked potentially like a race into me to do me, as Carol Baskin struggled to get control of his car, but ended up coming back onto track and wiping out the other two race leaders. Can Sam Thumfinger and Inter Allsorts make the most of this though, with Ambient Stub picking up a severe amount of damage? Because they're going to be close in the championship standings, as we're watching Kingy just pull away at the front, but Jeff Spencer's having a fantastic race so far, keeping Ice Dude behind him. And Bullen in his maiden race in these Formula Rookies finds himself in 4th. Here's our the race leader from earlier on in the race, Carol Baskin, is struggling to get round. He's currently hunting down Inter Allsorts, the championship leader, who's must have had a couple of moments for his own. He's currently finding himself in 6th position, chasing down the damaged Mikey 8-Ball, who struggling to keep that car in a straight line. It would seem must be some suspension damage on his car. Out front, Jeff Spencer and Ice Dude are having a massive battle, and Kingy's still involved, and so is Bullen. It's four drivers here out front in this major battle. As you watch the cars come through the S's and have the carousel in the background. It is Kingy who leads Jeff Spencer into lap 3, but Jeff is not going away. Kingy is very quick in these cars, so I was expecting Kingy to pull away quicker, but testament to Jeff Spencer's consistency here. He finds himself in 2nd. Let's hope he can keep this up for another 5 more laps and take a fantastic result. Not much happening further back down the grid though. Let's see if we can jump on board with Ice Dude, see what he's running with. In fact, he's had a moment there where he's gone into the wall actually, so that's allowed Bullen through onto the podium position. And in fact, Ice is now going to be under potential attack from his teammate behind. In fact, no, Mikey is dropping down positions. So as we come on to lap 4, it is Kingy who leads Jeff Spencer in 2nd. Bullen very close behind in 3rd. As they come into turn 1, and Jeff Spencer there taking an immaculate line, keeping the car away from the apex at the corner, gets him a nice run on exit. In fact, he's got a bit of a run here on Kingy as we come into the S's. You should see on the screen how much the drivers here will have to work the wheel. These cars, not massive amounts of power, but very fun to drive nonetheless. Has Bullen got the ability to have a look on the inside here? I think he's a little bit too far away as we come into the 2 right-handers. Jeff's taken an immaculate line. There we go, as he runs. Bullen runs a tiny bit wide there. How close is Ice Dude behind? Not close enough. So he got away with that. Meanwhile, Inter Allsorts is in 5th. He's just keeping his race going nice and quietly. In the background, he's got to pick up as many points as he possibly can. As we think Ambient Stub has had to retire from the race. Carol Vasquez is 6th. Nathbit in 7th. Sam Thumfinger very close behind in 8th. Wayne is going round nicely after the first race. In fact, he's just caught a little bit the outside of as speaking now. So when he waits for the cars to go ahead, it's the race leader there actually. So that is Wayne being lapped. So he must have pitted for some repairs there. And in fact, Renner's Racing has disconnected. Or is that? Yeah, it would be Renner's Racing who's disconnected there. Who was the one who caused that damage there? Or was it Ben? Could have been Ben, but he's still racing either way, and he's onto the back of a lapped car. Mikey and Ambient Stub are finding themselves back in the grid, in the pit boxes, so they've just had too much damage to continue. It's lap 5 Now lap 5, Kingi has been able to break away from the front runners. Jeff Spencer is corking the bottles. We're watching Wayne get very sideways, and that's not going to do his race any good. That's going to be a bit more damage, and he's going to want to try and keep that car on track if he can, to keep ahead of Ben behind. Jeff Spencer is having a very good race though. He's very defensive race in P2. As Bullen goes to take a look on the inside of this last corner. Piley's there, we're having a moment as we're watching Mikey's screen. So here's your race leader. Coming on to lap 6. Can't get hold of Jeff Spencer at the moment, but he is under pressure from Bullen, as Bullen goes a little bit too deep and allows Jeff Spencer back through. Does Bullen have the speed off the corner? He runs a little bit wide, but he did take that wider line. Jeff Spencer has the racing line for the inside to the right-hander and regains defence position to left-hander. This has allowed Ice Dude to catch up and is allowing Inter Rosso to catch up now. But Jeff Spencer having a fantastic race so far. Very defensive race. Knows where to put the car defending. In fact, his line there is defensive enough, and that's allowed Ice Dude to go through. Ice Dude, who takes up the podium position in P3, Bullen in P4, and Inter Rosso closing up very quickly in P5. Inter Rosso, the yellow livery car there, he is the Formula Rookie Championship leader. He's going to want to take as maximum amount of points as possible. Championship rival and teammate Sam Thumfinger is only in 8th position, and the other competitive driver in the championship so far is Ambient Stub, and he finds himself in P12. As we're watching Nathbit having a little bit of a quieter race in his own. There, he only really has Carol Baskin for company, but these drivers a bit further down the grid, not racing too much. Sam gets a bit of a moment there. That is a lapped car behind. That is Ben a lap down. He is fighting to get his lap back though. Sam seems to be struggling getting hold of controller. As we jump back to the front runners, and Ice Dude has managed to get past Jeff Spencer, which is a shame with 2 laps to go. Jeff's had a fantastic race so far. He definitely deserves to be up there on the podium. Let's see if he can have a look here. He pokes his nose on the inside. Ice Dude closes the door though. Coming into the left-hander up the hill. This is a flat-out corner in these cars. Ice Dude running very wide. Lucky not to drop a wheel on the gravel there, as the cars come into a very fast right-hander. Contrasting styles between all 4 cars here. You can see on the screen. Inter all sorts taking a line. They've taken the wet line, in fact, something we saw in the GT5s in race 1. Avoiding the apex of the corner because the puddles there can form as Jeff is slow a little bit on exit on the right hander. This is going to put Bullen under pressure from Inter all sorts, and the 2 drivers have a bit of a collision there, and we've lost the coverage. In fact, that has allowed, oh there we are, the 2 drivers are now stuck together. In fact, there's some debris there on Bullen's car, from Jeff Spencer's car, and Jeff is able to get back on track in 4th position. I think Bullen there poked his nose in for an opportunity, but not enough room for 2 cars to go through there. Inter all sorts is able to drive through the carnage and take 3rd position. Ice Dude finds himself free of the drivers ahead, and he's now into 2nd onto the last lap. This is your race leader, Kingi, who will take his 3rd or 4th victory with us after joining us at round 2. So into round 3 and into the record books will go Kingi, providing he can keep it clean for the rest of the race. Under the bridge into the long right-hander goes Kingi, and he comes into the final complex. Only the pronounced sausage curbs on the outside to avoid, as and that is Kingy, who will take the race win. He wins 5 seconds ahead of Ice Dude in second. Into All Sorts takes third. Jeff Spencer, who had a fantastic race, is carrying damage. Let's see if he's able to get across the line. Naismith is closing quite quickly, but I do believe that Jeff Spencer will take P4. Naismith will take P5. Bullen, who had a fantastic race for the win potentially, he takes P6. Sam Thumbfinger, useful points for him. He's going to be in P7. Karabaskin started out on pole, but as number of incidents like the one he's having right now mean he is in P. Watching penalties, in fact, happening here. Yeah, Karabaskin P7, Sam Thumbfinger in P8, Ben P9, Wayne in P10. Mikey and Ambient did not finish the race. Watch the race leader here, Kingy, come by. He is the race winner. So how does that change the standings? We'll take a very quick look. The Formula Rookie after round 3, it is Inter All Sorts who extends his lead to 7 points over his teammate Sam Thumbfinger in second. Sam is only 3 points ahead of Naismith in third, and joint third with Jeff Spencer. So those points in fourth, fantastic points for Jeff Spencer. He did deserve to be on the podium. Fortunately, a collision with Bullen took it away from him into the final complex, but fantastic position nonetheless for Jeff Spencer. Ice Dude, his P2 moves him up to 5th position overall in the championship, and Kingy's win gets him into 6th overall. That has been the highlights of race 2 of our round 3 Sprint Cup Championship, Club Sprint Race Championship here at Fresh Sim Racing. If you've liked what you've seen, make sure you drop a like on the stream. If you fancy joining us out on track, we have our Sprint Club races every Wednesday at 7 PM BST. Check out the link in the description for our Discord. We have other races available as well. We have the Vintage Touring Cars happening on a Sunday and the Group A Masters Trophy on a Friday. But that is the footage of race 2. Keep an eye out for, if you haven't seen it already, race 1 is on our Fresh Sim Racing channel. Keep an eye out for the streams we're going to have for footage of the other races coming to you soon. Thank you very much for joining us. See you all later.